everyone, and welcome to the first official episode of Captain on the Bridge, a podcast done by Hyperion Team, which we will have multiple fun little segments available for everyone to go ahead and learn information about what we have in store for you all. But let's first start off with simple introductions. I am your host, Nohr, and T. I go ahead and do streaming on good old Twitch. I also post videos on YouTube. I try my best to also post small formatted videos on TikTok and answer questions on there, on my streams, as well as on YouTube. And I love to share my joy and passion this game and game series has available for me and many other people. And I have my other two hosts and friends and fellow captains as well here.
Hello, I am MartyPCSR. I've been playing Honkai since the Asuka collaboration back in 2021 for Global. I've absolutely loved Honkai Impact 3rd since then. I do art, mostly. I travel around to conventions and sell my Honkai merch. I've met so many wonderful players in this community all around, at least the United States. And I've just really come to love everything that we do here and the story that Mihoyo has told with Honkai 3rd. It's left a big impact on me.
And while Marty got in during the Asuka patch, I, however, got into the Haxer Bunny patch. My name is Momo. I also go by Peach Salt on Twitter.com. And I draw art. I've drawn quite a few comics for Mihoyo to post on their SNS social media accounts before. And yeah. I'm kind of just more of a casual person. I do a lot more stuff in the background, but I'm glad to be here.
So, without further ado, there's a lot of point of views we have here, from the artist side, from the back side, from the front, from the quote-unquote does the things of the products and videos. There's a lot of pieces and information we have gotten, which also shows different point of views, how we experience the game, but also we get to hear about the experiences of the game. Because believe it or not, while this is a thing we do experience, we also have to hear what other people have said. And it has come to our attention that there's some slight problems and concerns within Honkai Impact 3rd, not because it's necessarily an issue, but more because of the lack of resources. A thing we have noticed in particular is it's a lot harder for newer players to get in because it's hard to find resources that are up to date or are willingly updating very constantly as well. This is a gacha game, so it does get updated every 5 to 6 weeks, as well as having a lot of ways to help newer players connect to newer players and older players as well, and connecting content creators together so we can do more content within ourselves and help boost the game as well as, sadly, the lack of promotion for learning the resources and regular content about simple information such as updates and patches and notes, as well as what banners are going to be coming up, as well as even to the further extent of lore, as lore is a major part of Honkai Impact 3rd, and sadly it is very difficult to get such information out so easily out to the public that's easy to read, easy to understand, but also fun and enjoyable to learn about.
Yeah, I think it's just so much information for a new player to get into with Honkai 3rd. People come to this game really excited. They're like, wow, I played Genshin Impact. I played Honkai Star Rail. And people always say wonderful things about Honkai 3rd. And they come to it, and then they suddenly get the shock of, 7 years of content to get through and read through. There's over 100-something hours of gameplay just reading through the story. And not only that, the first presentation is just a lot. And so we felt the importance for there to be more resources for people to acclimate themselves and get used to like the world of Honkai Impact 3rd and ease them in, which is what we're hoping to do here.
Not only that, but it's kind of hard for as well as I know in some stances for artists to get resources as well, to get references and such. What do you think about that also as well, Momo, for people who want to get into the game to learn and such the art and everything?
Oh, well, I'm just going to speak from personal experience when I first started getting into the game. So, before I got into Honkai Impact 3rd, I actually read the Honkai Impact 3rd manga before everything else. Because Marty actually introduced it to me, and he was just like, dude, this shit's peak. And yeah. And I went ahead and read it, and then I was just like, oh my gosh, this actually is peak. What? And so when I was doing a bunch of, digging, I I wouldn't say that I did what the normal person would do, because there wasn't that many, like, of course there was, like, some videos on, like, how, like, certain mechanics in the game worked, but it, like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of these resources are not really out on the internet, or at least, like, you know, a lot of them are trapped behind, like Discord servers and things like that, and I think we want to help, like, promote that, you know, outside into the cyberspace, I guess.
It's kind of funny how like everything seems like, oh yes, we have resources available, but it's kind of hard because some people don't have much social media. They only really use YouTube, or they only have access via TikToks and stuff and everything. So it's kind of funny how there's information, but it's also slightly limited or also slightly outdated and such
Right.
as well.
I mean, not even
Because-
just that. I feel like when
yeah.
it comes to information, it's a lot of like word of mouth between people, and not having it in written form is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. I will bring up a simple example. I got asked one time, well, recently on TikTok about why do people pause when doing Abyss and such, and I was just like, oh shoot, people actually don't know why some people do this in a very like Nirvana level and everything. Oh no. And I tried to find like if there was somewhere written, and I found a Reddit post, but it was like 3 years ago, and I'm like, that's so long ago now, considering the time.
Yeah, it just like it feels like there's just so much to learn, and people learn these things like a long time ago, and so there's just like an assumption that everybody knows it now, you know?
Yeah, like I know some people once again I bring it up like by social media. Someone asked me because I simply mentioned, "Oh, you should get the stick set. Make sure you have the T, M, and B." And they were like, "What's T, M, and B?" And I was like, "Oh, I should be clear. T, M, and B means top, middle, and bottom." Like some people don't know this, and that's not their fault. It's terminology they're barely getting to know about. You know, it's very interesting to find out, like, and realize how much information there's out there, but how outdated and like how hard it is to get because it's just not readily available for people, and it's slightly concerning. So that is one main thing we as Hyperion Team wish to go ahead and attack face forward and try to go ahead and fix.
Right. When we thought about creating the Hyperion team, we just saw that there was a huge need for coordination between a lot of the content creators of this game, whether they're streamers, artists, people who write guides, just all across this fan space. There is just really a need to connect people together, and so we formed the Hyperion team. To have a dedicated space and platform to connect the creator community together. We want to make this place fun and inviting for new and old players. There's just like, you know, once again, so much information to get through, and for old players, they feel like they're getting into just so much content that they're not aware of. So we want to encourage more collaboration, communication between creators in our space. We want to host spaces for discussion, and we are creating a platform to highlight the wonderful and amazing fan works that people are creating in the Honkai Third community. So for our purpose and our goals, we want to encourage more fan works that people are making, whether that's video, art, more people streaming on YouTube and Twitch, through providing support to creators. I know that a lot of people who are content creators feel like, you know, who's going to see my stuff? Or, you know, it's just so much for one person to do. And so something that we want to do is foster discussion for people. Well, we want to foster discussion among creators, like, oh, somebody's got like this set of talents, and oh, somebody's got this set of talents. And if those two people could coordinate and talk, then who knows what amazing things that we could make, you know, within this community. We also really strongly believe in improving new player onboarding, making just sure that new players feel like they're not overwhelmed with information and getting new things taught to them in a very linear and easily digestible way. We all know this. Playing Honkai Impact 3rd, there's just menus upon menus to get through, and you know, for a lot of us, we're used to it because we've seen it for a long time. But it's like information overload for new players. So we want to create lots of guides and helps and for new players to help acclimate them to the whole process. After all, there's 7 years of content that people are getting through. Even going into part 2, there's going to be a lot. So we want to offload some of that cognitive load for new players as well as people who are interested in streaming the game.
We also want to go ahead and have a narrative where we can go ahead and help and boost a bunch of us. While we do go ahead and acknowledge very popular content creators, we also need to acknowledge and boost people who are barely getting into the scene. Being able to support and boost people who do writing, who do guides, who do art, who do streams, videos, TikToks, cosplays. It is important to go ahead and have it be where we go ahead and get excited with it and also be able to be there to support them continuously instead of having it be a linear fashion where only certain people get the spotlight and a lot of people who have amazing talent don't get to see that opportunities as well.
Right. I think we want to take ownership over our fandom, right? This is something that means a lot to us, and constantly, reading YouTube comments, Twitter comments, etc. Sometimes you feel like, oh my gosh, the Honkai Third fandom isn't doing so hot, which I don't think necessarily has to be true. If we are perfectly self-sustaining in terms of the content that we put out ourselves, I think we can, be happy with our engagement with it. Something we also want to encourage is just generally more informed engagement with the story and the lore. There's just so much content that people have to read through that there can be misconceptions or misunderstandings about the way that story goes, and people get timelines mixed up and things like that. So we want to make sure that we can help educate the player base and help them better digest the story and the characters so that they can engage with it at like the same level.
We want to be able to have an open group discussion, not just within content creators as well, but also within the community, as sometimes we think we know what the community needs, but we also need to hear from the community. We are talking about how we want to help creators, but it's just also the matter of fact of not just creators. Yes, we would like to go ahead and boost more creators, but also boost the community as a togetherness. Because we see all the time people are asking for guides and stuff and everything, but it's very hard to find this information and things people are really expecting of because it's scattered everywhere. So we're hoping it will be easier for people to go ahead and recognize there's a group of people who are willing to go ahead and help newer players, older players, anyone in between, or just going ahead and just showing up out of nowhere once again, and have it be where we can do this. But not only that, we also want to be able to have a conversation about what we need as a community, but also hopefully this can show that we as a community are just as lively and as active when it comes to things, comparing it to, sadly, Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail, or even simple things as like ZZZ, which hasn't been out yet, but still has a very lively, active community. And the reason why it looks like this is because of the fact that people know what they want and are actively talking about it. Whereas with Honkai, sometimes it feels very isolating rather than as a community where it's collaborative.
Right. We want to encourage everyone to feel like they're a part of the community. Content creators, regular players who aren't interested in making content, that everyone can contribute in a little way and make it just more fun to be a part of it.
It's kind of in a way shocking how it's such a big and popular game, as we are aware of how like many downloads this game has and everything, but it feels so isolating. So that is our main goal as Hyperion Team. Yes, help out content creators, but also help out just people in general. Having people that love this game with such a passion is important to go ahead and be able to push this passion forward so people can be aware that it's okay to ask questions, new, old, it doesn't matter. What matters is just showing that love and care you have for something and putting it out there for the world to see. Of course, we do have other things we have in mind. We're not just simply doing this. We have a ton of projects in mind. We want to go ahead and, as you can see, as this is our first episode, we want to be able to post podcasts and talk about things that come up. Maybe we'll find a topic that shows up in the comments or even just in the community in general. We might bring it up in a podcast. Of course, we do want to go ahead and have it where it's not just the three of us. Sometimes we'll rotate it. Sometimes it will just be one of us, two of us, all three of us, or maybe even none of us, and it will be a different captain that just decides to bring in their experience. There's many things we want to do. We want to have this be a weekly, consistent thing because we feel like it's important to consistently talk about something we love and care about so deeply much.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who love Honkai Impact and just absorb every single bit of content that they can get. I'm one of them. And it's something that I just always felt
That's
about.
all of us.
Yeah, all of us.
Watching everyone cry over Chapter 9 or Chapter 23. Like,
Yeah.
You find someone who's like doing something of a chapter and you're like, oh shoot, here I come.
Yeah, I love to see people's reactions and just see people talking about a game that I love so much, and some days and some weeks there just isn't anything coming out, and so we want to really encourage people to just be making more consistent and like just something for the player base to be fed every single day, and so we want to drive a whole lot of initiatives and projects to encourage people to be making more things and to build up and create an audience within this space. Honkai Impact 3rd is just really special among games, and you all know this, for the emotions that it can bring out in people, and for all the memories that it brings every single time we think about these things. It's made, once again, a huge impact on our lives.
But it's not just like encouraging creation as well, but also bonds and friendship too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there's the three of us.
I mean, Nohr, we made friends. We made friends along the way, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, should we get into like I guess how we all met each other?
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead, Momo? You're the central figure in that sense.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Okay. Whatever. Okay. So, I will say, when I first got into Honkai Impact, I kind of thought it was cringe. Cause I would just say this right now. Before Honkai Impact 3rd, all I played was like Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing. Okay,
slightly cringe
so
too.
my gaming knowledge wasn't that great, and then also, the other thing is that I don't know, I was mostly geared towards like fantasy settings, where by the end of the day, majority of the stuff that I played was like in fantasy settings, and I just I didn't really think I was like super into like anything that was sort of like mecha or like action. Because, I was always bad at playing games. Why do you think I played turn-based RPGs? Like,
Use your whole brain, huh?
Yeah, so then, then Marty was just like, I first got into Genshin Impact because I was just like, oh my gosh, Kaya's so baby girl. And then, then I think it was like 6 months when they had that Eva collab, or was it less? I forgot.
Let's see. Genshin came out in September, and then Honkai's Eva collab was in January. So what is that, 3-ish months?
Yeah.
Okay.
Months.
So like when the Eva collab happens, like Marty gets into Honkai, and then because like the thing is that we knew each other from the Fire Emblem community before like anything else. But so he gets into Honkai because he's just like, oh, I kind of want to check out like other Hoyo's like other games and stuff.
Yeah, I was just super into like the lore of Genshin Impact when it first came out. I was like, wow, I want to know everything there is to know about MiHoYo as a company, and maybe I can get some like lore tidbits out of Honkai somehow. Obviously did that pan out? Not really, but it introduced me to it, and then I played Honkai, and then I was like, wait a second, there's an incredible story here. And it resonated with me. I've watched a lot of anime, and I don't know, it just hit on all cylinders. It captured every single emotion that I really wanted out of a story. So they got me. And I was working my propaganda on Momo as much as I could.
Yeah, I was just like, it's so funny because like, I was just like, I don't really think this is gonna be for me. And then I went ahead and like read all the manga because I didn't really want to start the game just yet. Because I was just like going like, oh, I feel like if I start this, I want to do a lot of research beforehand because I know for sure I'm gonna like not give it a fair chance. Because like, I got it from Marty's recommendation and I trust his recommendations.
Hey.
At least when he recommends something to me. And so I was just like, okay, I'll just go ahead and read the manga. And I was just like, I read the manga, and I was just like, wow, this peak. But it was like, the one that actually pushed me to start playing the game was reading through Azure Waters. And I don't know, like, I was just like, once again, this is another case of just like, wow, I thought this character was cringe. Drama alert. I thought Bronya was cringe when I first saw her.
And look at
Ironic
you.
coming from you.
Down
Most sane
horrendous.
Bronya fan. Most sane.
And like, you know, I just like
That's character development for you.
Yeah, you know, this happened with me with the Lorenz, but I feel like Lorenz is such a like a worse like looking character. Like,
Nice haircut, you know?
yeah, nice haircut, G. Like, but yeah. So I ended up reading Azure Waters, and I was just like, I started crying over Bronya because like before this, I actually read that one manga that was like it was like the first iteration of Elan Palutinus, where like, you know, Kiana goes into like the cyber world or whatever.
Oh, okay. I know which one you're talking about.
And-
the black and
yeah,
white
and I
one.
was
The black
like-
and white one.
Yeah, the black and white one. And like, you know, I was like sitting here going like, I'm not really sure if I like Bronya. And then, you know, Azure Waters happened and hit truck, and now I got brain rot. Like,
Diagnosed
and,
brain rot.
yeah. So, yeah, and that's then after that point, it was Haxer Bunny's patch, and I was just like, I need to get this Bronya right now. So then I ended up re-rolling 9 accounts to try and get her, or get HOR through dorms like an insane person. It didn't pan out. I instead just sticked on to account with Dimension Breaker and I think it was like AKA, and then I just like kept on playing it. I you know, every month or so I would go to Marty. I was like, Marty,
me.
I'm gonna drop this game. Like,
And I would be like, no,
Marty.
Momo, please, like, just stick it out a little bit longer. And then
Yeah,
it would happen like over and over again.
And then I kept on saying it, and then after a certain point, Marty just went like, like,
Yeah, I was like, all right, boy who cried wolf.
yeah. So, yeah, I've pretty much been playing ever since then.
And then I think, what was it? We went to AX in 2022, right? I had a table, and we just got exposed to so many new people during that time. You want to talk about your exposure to the content creators that we met during AX?
Oh, me or
Yeah,
you?
you.
Oh, me. Who did I meet during
Alex.
AX? Because, like, oh yeah.
That was
Well, the
that
thing
was your
is-
gateway.
Okay. I mean, here's the thing. Like, with Alex, I saw him at Anime Expo. I did not talk to him.
Right,
Then.
but
So-
like, you know, that like introduced
Like-
you to who he was.
Yeah. Okay. Let me give me a second. But yeah. So we have another good friend of ours named Mr. Alex Monolith Costumes,
Foam
and
eater.
he. Yeah, Mr. Foam Eater, and so he's like he does a bunch of cosplays for Honkai. He has like this really famous like May one, and also he was the official Kalpus cosplayer for that year. And yeah, I saw him, I took pictures with him, and I was just like, oh, this guy's so cool. But of course, you know, he wasn't really like talking or anything, because I didn't really know his personality back then. But then, like, I think it was like a week or two later, I was like surfing down the Honkai category, because I used to do that like a lot, and like just to see who was streaming it. And yeah, one of the people was you know, it was Alex, and then I just popped into the stream and I saw this guy playing like, and I was just like, wow.
You know what?
You know, you're playing like, so this is how you're supposed to do it.
Oh my god.
And then I became friends after backseating him in his chat.
That's not the bad behavior we want to encourage, but that's how it all started.
Yeah, don't do that, guys. Don't do that, guys. I'm just really rude.
And I
I'm
think
so
it's
sorry.
funny because that also led to you meeting me, Momo.
Yeah, you know, I still laugh / cringe.
It was because of Monolith, aka Alex, how I met Momo. What happened for me was it was the one rare day I wouldn't stream because I had to go ahead and get a procedure done. And when I can to stream, I like to look at people play Honkai, and I was like, let me see who's in the category right now. And lo and behold, there he was. And he was playing like in ER. And I was telling him also because I was like, hey, you know, you could do this and that, and these signets work better and all this stuff and everything. And it was just when he was meeting Bill V. And I don't know if people know this, I get really excited when my favorite characters get mentioned. So I started getting really excited and slightly info dumping about her on him. And Momo was happened to be in the chat, and it was just by funny coincidence of just going like hi and everything, like we were just chatting with each other, just basic things about like the flame chasers and such. And I think it wasn't until a later stream where you came in and
Yeah, you were playing Genshin, and I was so cringe during that whole thing. Holy
and
Why?
do I call you out for this? I don't know if I should call you out for this.
I mean, you can, like...
Momo, first introduction, like, you was just hearing in the background, would say a couple things, and then out of nowhere just goes like, oh, I drew something, and it's me carrying Auto Apocalypse when he's wearing his green dress, and then doesn't say anything ever again, and I had to basically
I, like,
warm
popped
my...
into your server, and I dropped that, and then I left. Like, 'cause I didn't want you to trace it back to me.
Like a bomb. Like a bomb.
Hydrogen baby versus atomic bomb.
But luckily for me, I was able to go ahead and track you back down anyways. And well, that just started our friendship there. But just you drew me with Auto Apocalypse, and it's like, oh, I was like, that's so good. Holy. But also, what? I was so confused. I was like, excuse me. Hold on.
Yeah, and then I think like the first time we did like a game together, I like. We were just playing Genshin and, like, grinding for and then I think at a certain point, the one thing I remember was saying, like, oh, I gotta go take an anxiety dookie real quick, and I just remember y'all cackling at that. Like,
yeah, because it was just like, excuse me? And it was also because of Momo I was able to be Marty, because Momo realized I have read the visual novels.
And I was just like, I was looking for people to talk to about some stuff.
And
about
we
yeah, I
Nohr.
was just like, Marty, stop being a go talk to Nohr.
And so Momo put us in a group chat, and it just sort of happened like that, but I was too scared to respond and everything, so I would respond like 20 minutes later.
Still to this day, Nohr is
Shut up,
scared to ask us about things.
Shut the fuck up, I'm doing better, no. Shut the fuck up, I have
You
social
are.
anxiety.
You-
Come on,
you
dude. I literally asked you, do you have a Miko Sona? Come on.
You did.
But it was funny because that led to me meeting Marty, and it was because of that whole debacle. And it's still very funny because I think about it back when I was getting into Honkai. I only knew like 3 other people, and they were all on Tumblr, and one of them was my closest mutual. And the reason why she got into Honkai was because she has a slight gacha addiction. She's been playing since like year 1. I say gacha addiction lovingly, but it's true. She does have a gacha addiction.
I mean, I don't know, man. The kettle is calling the
pot
cup is
calling the kettle black.
No, because listen to me. I'm something else. I don't pay for other gacha games, just this one only. She's just like, no. I got my job too. I can pay for my gachas. I gotta get every skin and character and everything for every game.
Too much disposable income for real.
Yeah. But I love her for it. And then our other friend also ended up joining like a couple like weeks after her. And she's more of the artist friend, and she drew a bunch of fan art and everything. And I was like, hold on, who are these? I need to know who these characters are. I like their designs. They're simple and cute. And well,
Eyes emoji.
now I'm stuck here. I've been here since then, and every time I think about it, I'm like, you guys are the reason why I'm like this. And they're like, yeah. And it's funny because one of them, well, 2 of them still play. The third one doesn't really play as much, but just goes ahead and pops into my streams to see what's going on with the story, and then like does their own research and joins every once in a while. But in particular, my friend Gab means a lot to me because Gab still keeps up and is active, doesn't play as much, but does come in and watch my streams and everything. But the thing that always made me really happy was when I got invited to the anniversary stream for Honkai last year in 2023. My friend Gab
they put
saw
you on a screen.
my friend Gab saw and messaged me screaming, "What the hell? When did this happen? Why did you tell me?" and everything. And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And it's been pretty cool being able to do stuff like that and everything. And my friend Gab, to this day, still does fan art here and there. But it means a lot to me because they're like, I'm so proud that you are someone who got into this position. And it makes me happy because just like how they're pretty much known in the RPG maker space because they do a lot of fan art and like zines and stuff, it means a lot that they saw a lot of potential in me because I started streaming because of them, because their phone was and they couldn't play Dustbook Apocalypse, and so they were like, can you stream the game? And Discord quality was very bad too. And so guess who had to go on twitch.tv to do it themselves? And I was thinking, oh, it's only gonna be me and them. And people slowly started coming in, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm doing this now. And
Fate
it's
had
fine.
other things in mind for you.
Yeah. Which I actually did like, because I remembered I used to be very quiet about like talking about like the lore or like things I noticed, like references between literature and everything. And I remembered I was very scared, and someone noticed I was very excited to talk about how I noticed there was like a Macbeth reference in Dust Spoke. And they were just like, you can geek out a bit, right? I was like, okay. And well, that led me to that. So ironically enough, it was because of Dust Spoke Apocalypse killing my friend's phone. I had to start streaming because I wanted them to play and get the end of the arc. And well, now here I am, still streaming for them, low-key.
Still streaming about Apocalypse to this day.
This man is my canon event. He really is. I've tried to escape, and he keeps showing up. I think I'm free, and then suddenly the game throws in his name, and I'm like, never mind. I'm back in square one.
There's always something that, like, I don't know, about Honkai that always draws you back somehow. You're like, wow, this reminds me of this point in my life where Honkai did this to me. Oh, we're all deep in it.
We're all deep in it. I can't even escape.
Yeah, we wouldn't be making a project like this if it didn't have such an effect on our lives, you know?
I mean, I wouldn't have made amazing friends, and I wouldn't have the courage to do what I do, because to be honest, it wasn't for that one chatter who noticed I was holding back, and they just said, you should just geek out. I will be honest, I probably would have just shut up.
It set off something in your mind. It flipped a switch.
Well, because like they were like, "Oh, you seem like you really want to say something." I was like, "Oh, I just this. It's like a Macbeth reference, and like I don't like Shakespeare, but like I feel like it's important to talk about it because of like the implications."
You don't like Shakespeare.
I don't. I'm a very anti-Shakespeare. But
they let us know more than once.
But I was like, but it's important because like the what Macbeth stands for, the moralities, the questions, the studies that has come with it, and like why this ties really good with Otto. And they were just like, well, then just talk about it. And I did. I'm not joking you. I have that bot. That bot is 12 hours long. I did a 12-hour stream, and half of it was talking about Macbeth and Otto. I don't know what else I can tell you.
That's my content right there.
That was just that was like my third or fourth day of streaming too. I was just like, oh shit, okay. And yeah,
good thing it happened early, because that set you on the path. And look at you now. Yeah. Look at you now.
I use my degree to teach, but also I question myself too. I'm like, damn, maybe I need to go out and touch grass.
So I think in a way it's our dream for more people to have this kind of experience. And I know many of you who are listening to this podcast feel the same ways that we do, you know, but we want to foster, you know, more wonderful content creators in this category, and more players just in general, who can love this content and who can share the experiences that they've had with this story. That's something that's just so important to us going forward. Like, we're entering a new age for Honkai Impact, right? With part 2, it feels like everything's changing and everyone's a little bit scared, you know?
Listen, I need to have my experience like I did when I was getting into Impactor through osmosis because of my friends. If I don't see people talking about how they're in the group chat and someone screaming about how Kiana is very, very goofy and silly, and then 20 minutes later I get they killed Wendy! I don't think we're truly experiencing Honkai.
Yeah.
I need to have that experience where someone's like, oh yeah, this game is so silly and goofy, and then all of a sudden, Wendy dead! Off screen, dead! Not real anymore! And just everyone going, wait, they killed Wendy! I need to experience that. I need people to talk about these experiences. It couldn't just have been me, the outsider looking in going, what the fuck are they doing? Who is this Wendy, and how badly did they hurt her?
I think we have many more years of, you know, story like that ahead of us. At least I'd like to hope, you know.
I hope so too. I really need to hear people go like, they killed Wendy. But that's the joy of it. Like, that's our goal. We want to make it be where it's safe and nice for people to talk about the things they like and the interests they have, but also have the opportunities to just share the experiences, share the passions they have, their art, their stories, their guides, their lore videos, their info dumping, just to make it a safe space for everyone. But of course, this will slowly come with time. We're working slowly towards this aim. We have big plans, especially with part 2 around the corner, because it is important to make sure we try to, in a way, nullify all the Doom posting and all the things that people have posted, which seems like it's going to be the end of Honkai, but it's not. I believe in this community. I believe in Hoyoverse, and I believe in everyone who's really passionate about this series that it's not going to die. It's in fact going to come out stronger and better than before. And we're hoping we can help boost that positivity and the good energy towards part 2.
Yeah, it's only going to come from us, you know?
If we don't do it, who will?
Exactly.
Someone has to.
It's going to
put
come
their
from
foot down.
the whole community, and we want people to join us in bringing us into the next phase for our community, you know?
And any future phases that come by, too.
Mm-hmm. I think
Hopefully.
we have a bright future ahead of us if we choose to fight for it. So let's fight for all that's beautiful in the world.
That's beautiful in the world.
Oh
yeah. See you on Mars, guys.
Trademark TM. Oh my god. But no, that's our goal with Hyperion Team, and hopefully we have an episode up as well a week after, and you guys get to meet other captains and put out your thoughts and opinions, and we get to hear it and also be interested in it. But I think that's a good way to conclude the first podcast of it. Once again, I'm your host Nohr. You can check me out on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere really.
I'm MartyPCSR. I'm on Twitter. I sometimes stream on Twitch, and sometimes I make YouTube videos, but you might see me at a con near you.
Yeah, and I'm Peach Salt. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and also sometimes Twitch, but I mostly stream art. But yeah, it was nice having you guys on.
Yes,
nice
I'm so
being
glad that we were
here.
able to finally get this to come together.
Yes,
Yeah.
finally. Totally did not take weeks planning and in the last minute. Hey, 10 a.m. good?
Yes. So, for anyone still listening in, we will have a website that you can check out for all of our information, as well as articles and posts about all things Honkai that you can go ahead and check out. And we'll be linking that below and talking about it on our Twitter.
And of course, you can check out also our Twitter, our future Twitch. Hopefully, we get to start putting stuff on there soon, and also YouTube as well, and any other social media out there.
Yes. Well, let's all say goodbye.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye,
Bye, everybody. Bye, bye.